If you're watching this, may peace and love be with you. I've been getting more requests on doing more story time videos, so here we go. I'm 16 years old on the east side of Arlington, where I'm from, and we live in these apartments on the corner of Sherry Street and Pioneer, right across the street from the Walgreens. At 16, I worked at that Walgreens while playing basketball for Sam Houston High School. I was always one of the smallest on the basketball team, so I decided I need to get in the weight room and get my weight up. So the apartments had a nice weight room facility. So one day I decided to go in there, and I'm thinking it's empty. It's real quiet, but I noticed there's an old school cat in the back, and you can tell that working out was a part of his lifestyle. It was like a linebacker, yoked up, cut, swole, older gentleman. And so, but he's yet to work out. He's just drinking his protein shake while I'm over here doing my little workout. So I decide, I'm going to go over here and introduce myself and ask for some advice and some pointers because I'm new to the gym. And so I was surprised of how soft-spoken he was. He was like a gentle giant, spoke as if he was a librarian or something. His tone reminded me of like a Farrakhan. When I went to introduce myself, he was like oh, nice to meet you, Brother Jamie. I realized that as your form and your technique was a bit off, brother. Yes. To avoid injury, you might want to correct that. He spoke in that tone. So after we finished conversing, he went over here to prepare his workout, and I went over here to finish mine. But as I'm sitting there and I'm taking heed to what he's saying, I'm kind of peeking out of my peripheral to see what it means as far as technique and form. And so he's on the bench press, not the one where you lay down, the one where you kind of sit up. And so he's preparing, and the gym is real quiet. It's just us two. It's just... Like every rep, he screamed to the top of his lungs. And once my ears started ringing, I got up out of there. Once I got the game of knowledge, I left. But later on in life, I realized there was two key messages within that small moment of time. One, sometimes the teacher's ready to teach when the student is ready, or when the student is ready, the teacher's ready to teach. Notice in our small conversation, he witnessed that my form and technique was off, but he didn't go over there and enlighten me. He waited until the student approached and was ready to be taught by the teacher. Which made me think of, at the time, a little bit later on in my 20s, I had a passion and experience in helping people, heal themselves from sickness and illnesses and little colds, and and I can't tell you how many people I've been around that was just like sick, and I'm like, oh man, what's your symptoms? What's your symptoms? Okay, what you got? All right. Yeah. And I would write down symptoms, and I would send them links and paragraphs and texts and say, hey, if you do this, you will be healed. And I would call in a few days later, but hey, how you feeling? Oh man, I'm just gonna go and thug it out, man. I'm gonna just thug it out, man. I'm like, and I realized 1 out of 10 people will actually take heed to what you're saying and the advice you're giving. So if I'm at the time in my 20s thinking this, I can only imagine what the older men are thinking, far as all the advice that they've given to young people or just people in general that wasn't received, or people didn't take heed to it, to where later on in their life they were more like, when the student is ready, the teacher is ready to teach. The second message was asking questions gains understanding. It's always been in me that if there was a place that I'm trying to be in life, or whatever field it was, if I saw, and I'm not there yet, and if I saw somebody who was there, I would go approach them and ask them, hey, what was your mental like? What was your preparation like? What do you have any advice and tips? And I would ask for the game. And so I'm letting it be known, we got to get rid of that pride and that ego and go communicate with our brother and our sister to gain that knowledge and wisdom. Because I learned within that one of my weaknesses could be one of their strengths, and one of their weaknesses could be one of my strengths. And if we communicate with each other, that's how iron sharpens iron, and we both come out on winning by gaining knowledge and wisdom. Hopefully that there's a message in there for somebody. Until next time.